Welcome, I'm Nina Gryphon, and this is the Astrology and Magic channel. Today we'll talk about the astrology of week 5 of August 2024. First off, I wanted to say thank you to all of my patrons. I appreciate all of your support. If you would like to become a patron and get early and exclusive access to astrologico-magical content, as well as my monthly Magical Elections ebook, you can go to patreon.com/Nina Gryphon. The ebook is where you can learn how to make and when to make astrological talismans. August 26th, Mercury has his morning rise at 21 Leo. Mercury now rises out of the sun's beams as a morning planet. This happens just as he stations direct. As a morning planet, Mercury is very visible, and he walks before the sun in his glory. Mercury is also in Leo, so he now carries borrowed glory, like a servant close to the king who basks in the king's reflected grandeur. Mercury now has a highly visible moment of power. In their outer world, it can be someone coming into the picture with great fanfare to mix things up and change things. In the inner realm, we would expect this to happen in the form of dreams, omens, or other subjective symbolic means. Whatever we see now will be fundamentally mercurial, that is, a messenger and an agent of change, but in the solar garb of rulership. Titus Burckhardt writes in his Alchemy that Mercury, or his metal quicksilver, is not a stage in the alchemical work, which are represented by the other classical planets. Instead, Mercury is the most direct manifestation of materia prima, seen as the fine psychic stuff, or vital breath which unites the individual body-soul organism with a cosmic sea of life. In it, the germ of spiritual gold lies hidden, as does gold in the ordinary quicksilver. He says that Mercury stands for, quote, the spiritual influence, grace, or other mode of operation of the Holy Spirit, which in a certain sense penetrates the apparently closed world of ego consciousness from without, and dissolves it out of its metallic coagulation. In alchemy, quicksilver could be regarded as the cosmic blessing, which, as Fra Marcantonio says, constantly falls from heaven as a fine mist to fill the pores of the earth, end quote. As we can imagine, the cosmic blessing symbolized by Mercury is sometimes more freely available than other times. When Mercury rises out of the sun's beams, it suggests that the spiritual influence and grace symbolized by Mercury is reinvigorated and renewed. In a couple of days, when Mercury goes direct, that blessing will be available to all. August 28th, Venus at 29 Virgo opposes Neptune in Pisces. The tension between Venus in Virgo and Neptune highlights Venus as symbolic of the realm of the senses, but Neptune represents the huge, changeable, and ungraspable ocean. In a way, Venus can never cope well with Neptune. The senses cannot comprehend the enormity of Neptune. In a way, Neptune represents the entire cosmos, and the senses are simply not equipped to deal with something so vast. This is a moment of overwhelm, which can be dealt with one of two ways: panic and denial, or recognition and acceptance. We are now faced with something quite vast, and as with the sea, the only option may be to simply let it wash over us. August 28th, Mercury stations direct at 21 Leo. Mercury now goes direct, which traditionally is represented as an ill person rising from their sick bed. They are not yet completely well, but things are distinctly on the mend. Mercury has now gone through a lengthy period of purging and difficulty in his proximity to the sun, and now he comes out on the other side ready to resume the last quarter of his journey. Mercury is now in his old man phase, as he gets ready to finish his existing synodic cycle with the sun. Therefore, we could be looking at Mercury manifesting as a literal old person, but also it could be something within that represents age or that has been with us for quite a while and is now entering its final phase before it is destroyed or subject to change. August 29th, Venus enters Libra. She is now entering her own domicile, where she can be a pure version of herself as much as possible. As an air sign and the sign of Saturn's exaltation, Venus in Libra is more cerebral and idealistic than the earthy and deeply embodied Venus in Taurus. There is a kind of ascetic, refined, and simplified beauty of Venus in Libra that is influenced by the Saturn exaltation ruler of Libra. As a cardinal sign, Libra is especially conducive to beauty and love as a verb. Venus is key in the alchemical process because even though Mercury or Quicksilver is the agent of transformation, Venus represents the power of love, which brings union to the body and soul and brings the body under the influence of the higher spiritual realm to which the soul belongs. August 29th, Venus at 0 Libra trines Pluto in Aquarius. This happens simultaneously with Venus entering Libra, and immediately Venus is caught up in the realm of Pluto. The two planets are in a trine aspect, suggesting a harmonious or easy connection between the young woman and the Lord of Death, or Persephone and Pluto to use the relevant Greek myth. The fact that they are in a trine aspect suggests that right now, the way to approach the Plutonian realities of great power, wealth, and the realm of the dead is through beauty, possibly verbal beauty, but really any kind of artistic expression and an expression of the feminine energy. While we cannot keep the Lord of Death away forever, we can sometimes negotiate with him. And Venus in Libra, a verbal air sign, is now able to do just that. This may also be a good time to deal with someone who holds outsized or unusual amounts of power in a situation, playing the role of Pluto as long as we are able to assume a Venusian role, that of a peacemaker, for example. Thanks for watching. I'm Nina Gryphon, and this is the Astrology and Magic channel.